G'day all, it's Colin from PC TLC and thanks for joining me. Today we're having a look at Linux Lite 4.4. I don't think I've ever had a look at Linux Lite before. It is a customized XFC desktop based on Ubuntu, and we're just going to go through the install, so let's get that started. Now I don't think Linux Lite has booted up in UEFI. I'm pretty sure it's booted up in Legacy. So we'll install third-party software. This is on my Lenovo IdeaPad 110, so very low-spec laptop, low-spec modern laptop. So we'll see how Linux Lite goes on this. It's a little bit slow on the USB. I think that's the laptop itself, although Linux Lite took a long time to boot up on USB. So I don't know why it took so long to boot. At one point I didn't even think it was starting, so I've got Debian stretch on there, but we'll let's see, let's erase disk and install Linux. So I've got nothing on there that I really need. Let's continue that. Australia Perth, yep. And we shall continue the install. So that's the install done. So what we'll do is I have to continue this another night because it's getting late. So we'll I'll save my video and then we shall continue this at a later date, and we'll get into the desktop and have a look at the desktop itself. Right, so we're back on to the freshly installed Linux Lite 4.4 desktop. Linux Lite is a Ubuntu-based distribution with the XFCE desktop. I believe it's based on 1804. Didn't do my homework on that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to install some updates. So all I've done is installed Simple Screen Recorder at this point. So I think, let's see if we've got an about on here first. System information should help us out a bit. Linux Lite 4.4. So it's running Linux kernel 4.15. I'm not sure. Alright, so I'm having a bit of a problem here. Every time I open Firefox, I lose my internet because I was just checking things. I just installed Simple Screen Recorder through the terminal and that was fine. And this happened the first time I started and I had to restart. So I don't know what's going on there, but there's definitely an issue. As you can see, we're not on the internet, so I'm going to have to stop the recording and restart. Okay, so I've done a restart, and you can see that my Wi-Fi is now working. I don't know why. That's the second time that's happened. Every time I open Firefox, my Wi-Fi disappears and it disconnects, and I have to restart. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. If we have a look at, I've run a LSPCI here, and I'm having a look at my network controller, which is a Qualcomm Atheros network adapter, so I don't think that really should be a problem, but maybe a bug. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Let's go look at settings first. So really what I want to do is start with updates. So I'm just going to look for anything with updates in it. Lite updates notify, Lite welcome. Well, actually, let's go through the Lite welcome first, because that's pretty handy feature, and we can probably do updates through there. So start here. So let's install the updates. Install updates. So let's see how we go with that. There might be some updates that may fix the Wi-Fi error, hopefully. So we have a whole bunch of updates there, so we shall do that. So we can see there's an 18.04 there. So this is based on Ubuntu 18.04 long-term support. So let's update that now. So I'm not sure where my update screen has gone. It's disappeared. So I don't know at what stage we're at with the updates at this point. So it tells you here you can also install updates via the menu. Click on Menu, Favorites, Install Updates. So I can hear the disk working, but I have no box to tell me what's going on here. It's disappeared. The disk has stopped spinning now, so maybe I'm not really sure at what point we're at. This icon here for the start screen, welcome screen, seems to be, doesn't show anything when hovering like this one. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I may move on to the next step and see what happens. Install drivers, so click on menu, so you can also install drivers via the menu. Click on menu, settings, install drivers. So let's do that. So there's no additional drivers available on this machine here. So and the next point is setting a restore point. So I've noticed they've got a lot of Windows wording going on in Linux Lite. You've got user files, this PC, control panel. So that's probably just to make people feel a little bit more familiar within the surroundings. So we have language support. So setting a restore point, I won't bother doing that. Well, actually, let's just see what that's using anyway. Rsync, okay, and rsync snapshot, so that's taken a snapshot. So let's quit that. Time shift, okay. So it's using time shift. Install language support, don't need that. Upgrading, so if you're upgrading from a series, you can do it from here, upgrade to 4.4. So if you're running 4, you can update from here right through, I think. Upgrading within the series 4 is simple. Click on menu, settings, Lite upgrade, and follow the prompts to get the latest version of Linux Lite. So you can only upgrade if you're running 3.8, see, but not from Linux Lite 3.8 to Linux Lite 4.4. You must be on the 4 series. Lite software, so you can go to Lite software from here. We'll do it through the menu settings Lite software. So let's do that. Lite software. Update sources, it's best to do that just in case there's been any changes. So you can click on install software and OK. And we have a lot of very familiar software in here. I was tempted to put OBS, but I've just been using Simple Screen Recorder a lot lately. It's a little bit easier to set up. It's not too much involved in OBS. It's just a bit longer, but Simple Screen Recorder is what it says. It's just simple. So Audacity, Calibre, Cherry Tree, Chromium Browser, Dropbox. So you can see there's a whole heap of pretty popular apps there to install. Restricted Extras, Skype. So I think if you click on one, so let's have a look. Hold down Control and click on Applications anywhere on the list. Hold down Shift and click the first and then the last application you want from the list. So hold down Shift. So if we go Spotify, hold down Shift and do that. Oh, that selects the whole lot. Oh, so it's just your normal Control or whatever. So holding the Control key, if I want Spotify and then I want Redshift, that's holding the Control key. And if I wanted Handbrake, Cherry Tree, and then you can click Install, and that'll install all of those. So that's quite simple. So there's your list. If you want to have a quick look. It's the second part of the list, or the first half anyway. So that's the Linux Lite software. Quit that. Hardware recommendations, 1 gig, processor and 68 megabytes of RAM and 8 gig hard drive. 1024 by 768 resolution. DVD drive or USB port for the ISO image. And then you got preferred. Now control panel, let's have a look at this. Control panel desktop icon, which takes you to the settings, XFCE settings. They call it control panel in here. No, they don't. It's just settings manager, I would say. Settings manager. Okay. Lite info. Let's begin. Oh, well, that's just shared my, so it doesn't actually, could I have a look at that or not? I missed that. Lite welcome we've seen. Lite system report. Well, let's see what that does. All right, let's quit that. I don't really want to report. So we've got Lite network shares, Lite tweaks, Lite software, Lite updates notify, session and startup, Lite auto login, Lite sounds. Okay, yep. Lite upgrade, which we've seen through the welcome screen, Lite desktop. Select the desktop icons you wish to enable or disable, so you can enable and disable all those on the desktop. Okay. Lite sources. Okay, so that you can have a look at your repositories there and where they're coming from. Lite user manager. So that's your settings with a lot of the Lite stuff in it. So it's either in settings or you can find it under settings in the menu. Let's have a quick look at appearance and see what they're running here. Adapter. Okay, that's a good theme. I like their theme anyway. It's quite nice, and the fonts are Papyrus, my favourite. And we need to have a look at also where would it be? Window Manager tweaks. No, that was the wrong one. Window Manager and adapter are there as well. So yeah, but the theme looks pretty good actually, I must say. It's not a bad look at all. So pretty good out of the box. Let's just have a quick look at desktop settings will be where we can change our background. Yep. So quite a lot of backgrounds there on Linux Lite. So they've got a lot of variations of the feather going on there. And some really nice backgrounds going on. That's a nice looking one. It's pretty cool. So this PC will obviously take you to your home folder. Or maybe even the computer, I think. Yeah, the computer. And user files will probably take you to your home folder. Yep. And that is Thuna 1.6.15. Calendar. So it's XFCE is pretty much XFCE. Those who know about XFCE desktop, you'll know that it's pretty much mostly what XFCE does, but then you've got what's on top of this is it's a lightweight operating system to suit sort of more low spec hardware computers. I'm pretty sure this is running on legacy by default. I didn't see that it came up with the USB boot to boot into UEFI at all. So I think it's just a legacy. What we'll do here is we'll right click the menu and go to properties, and we'll uncheck show application descriptions, which just cleans up the menu a little bit. If you're not sure what things are, then best to keep the descriptions on. They got the catfish file search. And they got GIMP in there. So let's have a quick look at graphics, GIMP, image viewer, scanner, multimedia. Of course, I installed Simple Screen Recorder. So you got volume control, VLC, CD DVD burner. Just the main Office documents there, Word, presentation and spreadsheet. Now you also got install and remove software, which is the other way of installing your software, which is Synaptic Package Manager. Unable to get exclusive lock, so that means something is probably still running in the background. There's your time shift there, which is your restore point, so they call it. No, okay, something's running in the background. So you got My Computer with all your shortcuts to all your folders there. Pretty handy. Recently used. So have we seen all the Lite software? I think we have, all the Lite. So it's a little bit similar to MX. Has all their MX tools. Lite tweaks. So you got boot up, fix, clear memory, default web browser, set your default web browser, okay. Thumbnail cache. So it tells you the grade, you've got to be cautious here. This is a safe one to do. It's not going to cause you any issues. These ones can be, you need to be cautious. TLP, laptops only, which is a battery saver, so that's very handy. Whisker menu, you can remove 10 recently used items, which is this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's correct. So that's a pretty handy little tool as well, that one. Lite updates notify, what's that one all about? So let's authenticate that. Set the updates notification frequency from the options below, every 6 hours, hourly. Okay, so you've got that sort of thing. Let's just quit that. Continue. Now, I wonder if that was what was running in the background. So we'll try this one again. Okay, so there was updates running in the background that I was unaware of. That's why Synaptic wouldn't start. So there you got Synaptic Manager there. So you can search for your... So if you wanted to search for Handbrake, which is in their Lite software anyway, we can have a look in there, and there it is there. You can left click on that, actually right click on that, mark for installation, and then apply. So you can do it, you can install software that way as well. The other thing that's very good with this one is the help manual here. Now if I go to Firefox, I think that opens in Firefox. I'm going to lose my internet, so I'll make sure that I've done everything that I need to first. Got display here, so you can adjust your resolution there. Bluetooth adapters, appearance we've seen, and about me. Let's have a look at that one. See what info that has there. That's just me. Okay. Install drivers. Well, there's no drivers to install. We've already had a look at that. Light locker settings. Haven't used that before. Lite DM and GTK greeter settings. So you can adjust your login screen. I believe that's all about. Panel, window position, miscellaneous. So there's a few little tweaks you can do there. So we have system information. Let's have a quick look at that. Once again, I had this up before. So let's have a look at summary. Intel Celeron CPU N3060, 1.6 gigahertz. So it is pretty low spec. I am recording and it seems to be running quite fine. Doesn't seem to be sort of missing a beat very much. So that's pretty handy. You will, if you've got a bit of a bloated distro, then it really slows down this computer, you can tell. Network interfaces. So I don't see anything that could be a problem there. I don't know why Firefox is stopping my internet. So we'll have a quick look at the help manual. So that's another pretty good handy part of Linux Lite is their help manual. Just watch the wireless here and see if it turns off or not. Alright, so I've had to do a restart because I couldn't open the help manual. So there was a few updates come through, so I thought it was worth a restart. So let's have a look at the help manual. Hopefully that opens now. And there we go. So very well documented and very eye-pleasing help manual here, I must say. So we can start here, click on that, and it'll tell you all about that. And then accessories menu, applications finder. So then we've got the contents, install guide, adding another user, enabling trim, installation guide, and tell you how writing the Linux Lite ISO to a DVD, on Windows as well. So it's got all the good information there, and very well laid out, I must say. Very, very good. So if anybody's using Linux Lite, they should be able to find what they're looking for within the help manual there. I'm not sure if that's actually, I think it's using a file within the system anyway. User shared doc, Lite manual. So it is in the system. So you're not actually online. So if you've got no internet, it doesn't matter because it's in here anyway. So let's have a quick look. User share Lite manual, index.html, which is this one here. So it is on the system, so if you got no internet, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to start Firefox up again, see whether I lose my internet or not. Hopefully the update sorted that out. And it's working fine. So yeah, there must have been an issue before the update. Now it seems to be working all right. So let's just do a search for distro watch first. So Linux Lite, based on Debian Ubuntu, i386 by 64-bit as well. It's only got the XFCE desktop. It's based on Ubuntu's long-term support, and that is the 1804, although it doesn't tell you 1804 there. It's definitely 1804 looking at the updates anyway, no problem there. So that was a quick look around Linux Lite 4.4. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative and interesting, and thank you for watching.